Hey, what's up, guys? In this video, I want to talk to you about Medal of Honor Warfighter multiplayer. I played up the full game earlier, and I've had a chance to play the multiplayer for a bit. And I know that I talked about the beta in some of my previous videos, but I wanted to do a separate one for the full game because, to be fair to EA, a lot can change from the beta. I don't know what version of the build that was, so I'm gonna. I wasn't good at all, but I went into the multiplayer with an open mind. I'll start off with the things that I actually like about the game, and mainly it's the guns. I think the guns have been done very well. They look really nice, they feel great, they sound great, they're highly customizable, and I hope that EA keeps the system they used in this Medal of Honor, and we have something similar in Battlefield 4 coming out late next year. And I think we will see that because a lot of the time what they've done is used Medal of Honor as kind of their experiment for their engine, and then we've seen a lot of the features transfer into the Battlefield game. So hopefully they'll be keeping the same customization and mechanics as the Medal of Honor. They've added a couple new features, mainly peek and lean, and I think that's good. It definitely adds to the tactical aspect, and it also adds to the immersion. It gives you a few more options when you're in firefights, and it's just always good to see game developers adding movement and gameplay features into their game that make it more immersive. So definitely kudos for adding peek and lean. I know it doesn't really work in most first-person shooters, but they've actually made it work reasonably well. So that's definitely a plus. But unfortunately, there aren't very many other positives. From what I've played, it's just mostly negatives. A lot of the foolish stuff has been kept from Battlefield 3. The 1 minute wait in between rounds. I know it's a minor issue, but it adds up. And when you're waiting a minute in between rounds every game, it just becomes boring because there's really nothing to do in the menu. So I don't understand why they can't just make it transfer into the next game instantaneous like most other games do. Kill streaks, or I guess point streaks, are they're just not done well. A lot of them are pretty much useless. There's so many of them, it just gets confusing. They like the radar jammer that you have to place, the UAV that you throw, and then the UAV that you deploy, and you can use it as like a Hellfire missile. There's just so much stuff going on that it's just over the top. I mean, I don't have a problem with them adding point streaks. I know a lot of people do, but if they're gonna do it, they need to make it so it's simple. Like Call of Duty 4 had it right. It was just nice and simple. You got 3 kills, you got a UAV, you got 5 kills, you got an airstrike, you got 7 kills, you got a chopper. I mean, Call of Duty's been doing this recently too, and I just think it's foolish when you have like 100,000 different types of kill streaks. Nobody knows what's going on, and it just gets so confusing and so clustered that it detracts from the gameplay experience. And on that note, not only are the kill streaks confusing, but some of them are just outright retarded. The Juggernaut one, or whatever it's called, tank stance, it's just it blows my mind that they could put something like that into a game and think that it's going to improve it. It just makes it so weak, and it completely detracts from the immersion. You're running around playing this tactical first-person shooter, and then all of a sudden you run into a guy who's a fucking Juggernaut, and it takes like a whole clip to bring him down. And it just is so terrible, in my opinion, for them to add that into the game, as well as some of the other kill streaks, which I think are just have no place, like the Blackhawk Gunner and some of the other stuff. The Blackhawk Transport, where you can rope out of it, it's a good idea, but when the maps are so small, it's just pointless. Every single time I've ever spawned on that thing, you just get farmed because there's always an enemy camping the bottom of your Blackhawk. So they obviously didn't really playtest their point streaks very well, and it shows. They're poorly done, they're sloppy, and they really detract from the overall gameplay experience. And on the note of sloppiness, the HUD is not done well at all. There's way too much stuff going on. It just clutters up the game, and I wish there was options to disable some of the stuff, because a lot of the stuff really isn't needed. The ammo counter is huge, the points are huge, the map, there's just so much stuff going on. I mean, in my opinion, when it comes to the HUD, the fewer stuff you can get away with, the better. And it seems like in this case they tried to go with as much stuff as they possibly could, and it just looks silly and it looks cluttered. And then the graphics are, the multiplayer graphics especially, are just extremely poor. The first thing that I got reminded of when I started playing multiplayer was Call of Duty World at War, and that game came out, what, like 5 years ago now? It's just, the graphics aren't up to par. Even a game like Battlefield 3, where the maps are 20 times as big, the graphics were far more, they were a lot better than they are in Medal of Honor. The graphics are just, they're terrible. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. The textures of the guns are nice, and that's pretty much it. Everything else, the maps, they're just ugly, to put it bluntly. And it really, games that don't look nice, you don't want to play them. Your eyes get sore after playing for a long time. And I know that gameplay is always more important than graphics, but when your game looks like it was made 5 years ago and your gameplay sucks, you're really not bringing it to the table. And unfortunately, the graphics in this game are just not up to par. And those are just the major issue. There are a lot of minor issues, and I think the biggest thing here is what happened was they were trying to copy Call of Duty. I mean, there's really nothing else to say about it. This game plays like a poor version of Call of Duty, and it's such a shame too, because this game could be so great if they actually try to take their own direction and do unique stuff. But they're wasting all their time just trying to do exactly what Call of Duty's doing. And I mean, you look at what Call of Duty's doing, and it's shit. I mean, Call of Duty sucks. I don't think very many people are going to disagree with you. All my Call of Duty fans, or all my Call of Duty friends who are fans of Call of Duty, they admit that Call of Duty sucks. Ever since maybe Call of Duty 4, all the recent ones have sucked. So now we have all these game developers copying Call of Duty, and you're copying a game that sucks in the first place, and then you're making a game that's worse than Call of Duty. So not only are you copying a game that is shit, you're making a shit copy of a shit game. And that's exactly what Medal of Honor Warfighter is. And it's such a shame, because if they had spent time trying to make a unique game that brings something new to the table, this could have been a lot better than it is. So I'm disappointed. Luckily I got the game for relatively cheap, and I have a guarantee that I can trade it in for essentially what I paid for it. So I'm not exactly upset that I bought it. I knew what I was getting into, but I am upset about how they just threw the series down the tubes trying to copy Call of Duty. And not only did they not copy Call of Duty, they made a game that is actually worse than Call of Duty. I would much rather play a shitty ass game like Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 2 from what it looks like than this game. And hopefully they'll learn their lesson, and they'll fix their developer team and actually put out a good game that is true to the Medal of Honor and the Battlefield series. I mean, I could go on. I could say like 100 more things that's the problem with it, but you guys get the picture. So I'm just gonna end it there. If you haven't already, I know most of you probably haven't. Don't buy the game. I'm gonna do a separate video for a campaign. So if you're thinking about maybe renting it for a campaign, you should check that one out. But the multiplayer is a complete waste of time. So that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this gameplay. I didn't enjoy playing it, but I felt I should make this video as a public service announcement to anybody who's considering buying it. Don't buy it.